Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, it's Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. Now, yesterday on the Diddy docket, we're still on it because the filings are coming in every day. He, after being sentenced to 50 months, and after apparently a reach out to the administration seeking a pardon, he asked for Fort Dix, where he'll be able to get the RDAP treatment, which may take a full year off the sentencing. It's for nonviolent defenders. That's how it's described, which arguably, other than the acquitted conduct, he would qualify for. The government thinks so. They wrote in. They were given until 5 p.m. yesterday to oppose or not Combs' lawyer's request. And they wrote in and said, we do not oppose. And also, the $5,000 fine under the Victims Act, please don't impose it because the law expired on September 30th. I don't think it's related necessarily to the shutdown. I think it's just the law expired by its own terms. Maybe not. In any event, they don't want the $5,000. So there's that. Now, in another hype docket here, the Blake Lively docket, Judge Lyman issued a very lengthy, relatively lengthy for an unsealing order. We won some unsealing, by the way, in a case of the cooperator in a PPP case. You can find that on Twitter. But Judge Lyman has said that much must be unsealed in the Lively docket, but it didn't actually happen. I kept refreshing, and it never occurred yet. So apparently, they're going to be they're giving a second bite at the apple, let's say. And it's not, Judge Lyman is one of the judges that doesn't seem to really entertain outside press requests for unsealing. I'm not really sure why. Everyone else does, but we'll see. We'll see. That's in the past. Maybe it's changed. Times change. Now, there was a case that there are a lot of habeas corpus petitions, and we've followed as many as we can. We've probably written about 30 of them. Yesterday, we wrote about a new one. It's one that has a lot of detail to it. A gentleman from Colombia was arrested by Amtrak police, so not New York City police, in Penn Station in the bathroom. Some are saying it's a targeting on sexual orientation. The actual records show that there was some activity and behavior that probably gives rise to an arrest. In any event, the person was moved very quickly from New York City to Newark to Texas, and thence to Arizona, where there is a deportation proceeding going on, and Judge Rochon says she doesn't have jurisdiction. Dismissed without prejudice. So we're going to continue to follow that case, and you can find it. I think it's one of these things where maybe there is a targeting. You gotta, but maybe, sometimes some activities should not be taking place. I don't know. What I can say is, let's turn to banking regulation. The OCC is on fire in an extremely negative way. It's a dumpster fire. Why? Because they're announcing proudly these deregulatory moves day by day. They did one about no applications for branches. Then they did another one saying we're going to essentially automatically approve things, and that community banks will barely be regulated, and that's defined as $30 billion and down. Nice to be a community bank. But in all of these things, they say comment, but they haven't put the proposals on regulations.gov yet, so you can't comment. Meanwhile, the time clock is ticking. There's something brewing. PNC Bank, well, they're applying for a merger. They applied a week after they announced it. They want to close the comment period in 3 weeks, and after some comments from Fair Finance Watch, they put in at least 5, probably more now, letters from very compliant groups. They've suborned the comments, and we may have more to say on that. We'll definitely have more to say on the UN because we have 2 scoops today. One is about a meeting, apparently. This was from the South Sudan mission. All SRSGs, including the South Sudan SRSG, Special Representative Secretary General, are going to be meeting with Guterres about his meeting with the U.S. government. Apparently not with the top, but with somebody. In any case, he's coming back with news of big cuts. And in South Sudan, the fat cats are trying to stay in their jobs by saying that they're subjects of sexual abuse allegations, believe it or not, because you can't be terminated during the investigation. Many of them are under investigation, but it seems like the most cynical way to keep your job. But more importantly, we just this morning published an actual leaked table of who would be getting the cuts, and they're all lower-level staff. That's why there is a rebellion, but there should be a much greater one. Antonio Guterres, who has censored the press and banned it, must go. To be continued.